It is big news that you may have missed just as the holiday weekend began. Finally, a decision about Springer, the orphaned orca.
It is controversy as usual. Experts say it is time to capture her, but they do acknowledge that it is risky. How risky? How will this all work? I'm going to put those questions next to someone very close to this situation coming up. Back here live on the Q13 Morning News, 7:22. I believe we're listening to Best of My Love by The Emotions, getting you going on this Monday morning. A murky look at Murky Lake, Washington, but I'm sure it's going to clear up a little bit later today, and you're going to have a little fun for your holiday. We thank you for being with us as we continue with more news of the day. The months of indecision are over. The federal agency that watches over threatened wildlife in Puget Sound says it is time to capture Springer, the orphaned orca, and try to make her healthy. But everyone involved in the situation does admit that it is risky. This morning, we're going to find out more about what happens now, how risky it is, what's at stake, from Michael Harris, president of the Orca Conservancy. Thank you for being here on this holiday. Thank you very much, Michael. What role are you playing in the rescue of Springer, if that's what you want to call it?
Well, we've had a role in this process ever since February, and right now we've been asked to put together a coalition of organizations to actually raise money for the effort.
Okay, and how exactly is this going to work? You've said that you've drawn, obviously the blood has been drawn from Springer. She's almost like a pet at this point, just off of Vashon Island. Do you think the capture is going to be difficult, and how will it be performed?
Well, actually, the fact that she's a pet is part of the big problem here, and that's that she is very accessible. We were able to draw blood from her, which is very, very difficult, if not at one point thought to be an impossible task to do with a wild animal.
So you kind of think she'll probably swim right into the net?
Oh, I think she'll swim right up to the boat, and I think that's the main concern, and that's why I think there is intervention going on now, is because she's becoming very urbanized.
So why is it that the National Marine Fisheries Service says that this whole process might kill her? Do you believe that's true, or do you think that's an exaggeration?
Well, I think NIMS and the other federal agencies on the Canadian side as well have been saying that this is not an easy thing to do. They want to make sure people know that there is some risk involved. But we found out that this is a very special whale, and in fact she is very accessible. It's very easy to actually get her to come to a boat, and that's all we need to do. And the word capture is used a lot, and capture is a very powerful word.
Because it brings up all these images of violent capture.
Well, the last capture we had in the Sound was in 1976. So, I mean, a lot of people hear the word capture and they think it's going to be very dramatic and lifting her out of the water and doing these horrible things. The initial process really is just getting a net around her.
And then the idea then is to take her from that point up to a place called Blackfish Sound in the waters in British Columbia. And we have some video from the Orca Conservancy that you want to show us right now. Tell us about where she's going. This is where her pod lives, supposedly, right?
Well, this is a place that not many people have seen down here. We see Fauntleroy Ferry, and it's very beautiful, but there's a lot of people here. It's a very urban area. This is a very pristine, remote, very secluded area.
Is this her pod we're looking at?
This is actually a pod. I believe it's a pod. Yes, it is a pod. And this is Dongchong Bay, which is up near Johnstone Strait, and this is actually out to Blackfish Sound, where her family does come in, and they start coming in July.
Well, what's it going to do then to have her penned in that area? I mean, does that prevent her then from reuniting with her pod?
Well, I think the goal is to get her up there and to give her the first chance possible. Once the animals, once her family comes in, to really give her a chance to get out there. The window for the return of her family is very short.
It's about
short. Yeah, it's about 41 days in the season.
That brings up another question that I have, because here we have the news about Keiko that's expected to be trying to be reunited with his pod for the third straight summer. I mean, this is 3 years. We have a baby orca, and if the window is very small, won't it be too late if they keep her penned up?
You know, the example of Keiko is great, because Keiko was in a concrete tank for 20-some years, and this animal, A73, has been in the wild, and that's our purpose all along. It's to reduce the human contact and reduce that amount of rehabilitation time that it takes when an animal does become acquainted with human contact. And
as she's in that pen, will it be netted? It's not going to be a closed-off pen like a wooden pen or something. It's got to be netted, right?
Yeah.
So then her pod will have the opportunity then to communicate with her,
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
She'll be acoustically connected immediately. And the fact that Orca Lab is also up there, they have 6 hydrophone arrays around that area, and they acoustically keep track of all the families of whales. So they know where her family is at all times as soon as they get in.
Hopefully this will be a success story. Michael Harris, president of the Orca Conservancy, thank you for being here, sharing your perspective with us.
Well, thanks for your interest in the story. It's been great.
Well, so many people around the Sound and around our area very interested, I might say, around the country. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Peter, over to you.